Hello and welcome to Engine Adventures review of this 2022 Mazda CX-50 Turbo. This is an all-new vehicle Mazda's lined up. It's based off of existing other vehicles, of course, and they're still making this alongside the CX-5. And of course, they're quite similar in size. The CX-50 is a little lower, a little wider, and they kind of trade off on where the extra room is inside. So they're roughly the exact same size. As far as cargo capacity, they're really similar. The differences are quite minor. It's definitely wet and muddy and rainy out here, and actually today I just found out that my normal off-road test course is essentially closed down. They've blocked it off with boulders and stuff, so we are gonna have to be finding a new spot in the future. And besides, this one is not something we're gonna be doing much off-roading with to begin with. And I should be saying off pavement. It's definitely, you know, marked trails and all that stuff. We're not going off trail, off road entirely. We are driving on dirt roads. Anyway, that's not this part, this review. Let me shut it off and we'll take a look under the hood. But before I do that, I want to show you a couple of lighting features here. So those are the regular lights. Headlights are on. Those are the daytime running lights, and then here are the high beams. But this shelf right here, it actually snowed the other day, and then it was a very wet snow in the evening, and then it froze overnight. Well, in a lot of vehicles that ices up the headlight lenses, but because of the shelf here, it actually protected it, and I didn't even have to clean off the headlights. But things like the mirrors, when you lock it, the mirrors were folded in. When I unlocked it, there was a bunch of crunching as it broke the ice, and same with opening the doors and all that. Let me shut it off real quick and we'll take a look under the hood. Here is the 2.5 liter twin scroll turbocharged inline 4 with 227 horsepower, 310 foot-pounds of torque. It's quite torquey, you feel it. There's the turbo right here on the back. The only problem I have with it is it can be a little jumpy sometimes. Like, sometimes you push on the gas pedal a little bit and you get more than you want. Sometimes you push on it and don't get quite as much, and that's just the way turbos are quite often. Some manufacturers have tuned that out through the use of twin turbos and variable geometry turbos and stuff like that. But anyway, overall, love the power of this thing. Cruising on the freeway, it just goes. You don't have to give it much effort at all. And around town, whatever, it's very sporty. And of course, this is the all-wheel drive version, so I mean, it's a front-wheel drive layout. And I actually contacted Mazda to get some more information from them, and there's no center differential. There's just a clutch pack sending power to the rear, and the rear is driven about 1% faster than the front, so it gives you a much more sporty feel. It tightens up the drivetrain and all that, and it definitely makes for good handling. We'll talk about that on the on-road section. Inside the CX-50, it's quite roomy. The driver's seat area is a little bit enclosed just because of all the stuff going on here, but overall it is quite roomy. I can still reach the door locks and the handles on all 4 seats. You know, I can reach across or to the back if I need to reach all the way across. And this one is the premier or top end trim level, and so therefore it's very nicely equipped. Has the head-up display, might be a little hard to see right there, but anyway, and tons of features. You know, automatic windshield washers, set it there to auto, and very nice. I love Mazda's quality on a budget. They've definitely have improved a ton over the last 5 years, and these new ones especially are just so excellent. as far as interior design and comfort goes. And it's very driver centric. Everything's kind of, it has the center screen and it's tilted slightly towards the driver. Everything here you can reach down, control the volume knobs, whatever. Everything's within easy reach. The drive settings there. And yeah, overall, not bad at all. Has heated and ventilated seats up front. Rear seats are heated, and then a heated steering wheel there. Dual zone automatic climate control. And then there aren't like a ton of screen options for the driver display here. You can change what's going on in the middle. It does have, it's cold out, the tires have been low. It's actually back up to normal now, but just, you know, because it's colder, so that it was giving me a low tire warning. So if you see that pop up, it's just because it's cold out. Anyway, the maps I haven't really used much, but not bad at all. And if you do the navigation, it will put up information on the head-up display. It also has like your blind spot and stuff that it puts up on the head-up display. Over on this side, have various buttons here. The one I wanted to talk about is this view right now. And I guess since we're here, the iStop is like the auto stop start. So it does have surround view cameras, and they're very clear. And again, in the snow, as I was talking about with the headlights, the cameras are pretty well protected. And I had one speck of dirt, that's the front camera, but on the rear camera, about right here, there was one speck of snow or whatever. But other than that, the cameras were clear. And I don't know if I just got lucky. Normally, of the cameras, I have to go and wipe them off after a snow or rainstorm like we're getting today. But you can see the fog coming down through the mountains up there. It's just constant, very light rain, but constant over the past little bit. And in the evenings and night, it turns into snow. So anyway, they've done a really good job with basically all the driver focused systems. I still do have a couple issues. You can see piano black, which means you can't see because there's so much reflections. And if you get the good angle on it, I don't know if those scratches are showing up. This piano black stuff, I mean, you could touch it with a feather and it will scratch. Touch it with your hand and it becomes smudged. It's just not my favorite thing. I don't know why automakers are using this piano black stuff so much. It does have, pop these open, the wireless phone charger right there. Little cubby here with, there are two USB A's in there and a 12 volt right there. And that's it for power up front. I believe the rear has two more USB A's. There is kind of a secret little vent here. It blends in with this trim panel, and yeah, just normal vents. You just get two vents for the passenger, two vents for the driver. It does have the trip meter button and stuff here. You can change through mileage and trip mileage and all that kind of stuff, and then the brightness over here. Anyway, again, everything's really driver focused. I will go to the radio and I want to turn it. Anyway, I can't turn it on, so you can't hear it. The sound system is pretty good in this, but the one thing I don't like is if you're trying to change one station over, it's a pain. So if you don't have it in your favorites, let's grab whatever, it doesn't matter. And to change over to channel 35, it just doesn't work very well. So you have the buttons here that'll, and that, sorry, that's indicating to push the volume knob sideways. And it just scrolls through the time on the song. It doesn't actually change your station. And then that's the same with these ones here. And if you push it in, so these are kind of rocker switches, and they're a pain to use if your hand is like this on the steering wheel and you're using your thumb. It's the reason I say they're a pain is because if you push it just the wrong way, or you're driving and there's a small bump or whatever, when you push this in, it changes the source on the audio system. And then same here, volume control, you adjust the volume pushing up and down, but if you push in, it does the mute. So sometimes it gets a little finicky. It's a little easier to be like delicate with it and do that, but I prefer to have my hand like this and just use my thumb. Anyway, not bad. And then it has the, you know, lane centering assist and adaptive cruise control with your distances, and then set it, resume it, adjust your speed, and cancel. So same thing on these buttons. Up here behind the steering wheel, paddle shifters that are attached to the steering wheel, both sides obviously. So yeah, that's my one issue with it, is just the radio. To tune through one song at a time, you actually push this down, go through the channel list, and it starts you at 0 again. So if you want to get to whatever 200, it's just going to take you a little while. If you want to listen to your bluegrass junction, you got to scroll all the way through that, and it's just a little bit of a pain. So other than that, really love it. There are 4 drive modes with this toggle switch here. You have off-road, normal, and sport. If you hook a trailer up, which this one does not have a trailer hitch receiver on it, but if you do hook a trailer up, and it won't show off-road there, it will show trailer or tow mode or haul mode, something like that. But like I said, this one is not equipped with the wiring or the trailer hitch receiver, so I can't look at that. I didn't mention this from the front, but it does have a panoramic sunroof, moonroof combo here. So open that up, let in a little bit of light here, and trying to keep the floor mats clean because it's so dirty out there. Anyway, heated outboard seats here in the rear, and 2 USB-A's. Map pocket on that side, nothing on this side. I assume for more driver comfort, a little bit more leg room for the person behind the driver. And then of course your 2 vents there up top. Obviously showed you that. It does make it feel a little more open. And then the lighting right there on both sides. It does have the center armrest, cup holder, and that's about it. So it's pretty basic. In the doors you get the bottle holders as well. Overall, it's a pretty basic setup, but not cheap. So it's hard for me to explain this properly. Let me see if I can do it. But the Mazda is designed as quality components at a lower price, and there's nothing in here that's super techy, super whatever, most modern type things. It's more of an old reliable. So it's got good quality stuff most of the way around. I mean, some of these things feel like a little bit cheaper plastic, but overall it definitely has a higher quality feel and build about it, but it doesn't have all the little gimmicky features that some people may want. Personally, that's not something I go for, but other people may want that type of stuff. And decent amount of space back here. If it were taller, higher profile, you could probably fit a 3rd row back here as well. It does have, I don't know if I would call them cargo tie downs, but there is, I guess you could anchor to that, but it's plastic, so careful there. And then underneath the cargo area here, sorry, I got hooked. Oh, there we go. Underneath here, spare tire and your Bose subwoofer, and that is a compact spare tire. And then you get cubbies on either side for a little additional storage. Overall, it's not bad. Like on space, there's a decent amount of space there. I like it. For the size of the exterior of the vehicle, the inside is pretty well used. I mean, there in here, there's probably a little bit of room for other things. So I mean, this side you've got the fuel coming in and whatever, but I mean, that's over a foot thick from the outside of the body to this right here, and you've got the wheel well and stuff in there. But anyway, there could be some more optimization. Maybe they're putting some electronics or other components in there, but you see how wide, again, from there to basically here. And yeah, anyway, if you do want to lower the seats, you can just pull that handle and it will lower them. I do have the car seat in there, so I'm not going to do that on the other side. And then it's powered. Let's go ahead. Well, let's take a look at the exterior. I didn't talk too much about it. So the course premium trim, we got 20-inch wheels. I think they look quite nice. It's black, and then I believe after they powder coat it black or whatever, they come back and they machine this off and put a nice finish on it. Anyway, I like the look of the wheels. They are 245 45 R20s, and definitely a road going tire with low profile, which probably helps with handling. This thing, as I mentioned, handles really good, and you'll see that in the off-road portion here in a minute. And then a bunch of fake stuff. I don't like having faux anything. I know if it's functional, that's great, but those brake vents don't do anything. And has this cladding, plastic cladding, to make it look more adventure-y, off-roady, whatever. It's not much of an off-roader, but sure, that's the market we're in today, where people love to see that kind of stuff. So again, this is not a real vent. And yeah, other than that, I really like the look of it, the design of it. The front, it's a little bit lower and wider than the CX-5, so as Mazda's advertising, it is a little bit more off-roady or whatever, but it's actually maybe a little bit less, just simply due to the angles. Again, the all-wheel drive system is very capable and it's an excellent system, but as far as vehicle dimensions and stuff, it's a little bit tougher. Here's the window sticker, 2023 Mazda CX-50. I probably said 2022 in the intro. Anyway, 2023 Mazda CX-50, 2.5 liter turbo with the Premium Plus package, all-wheel drive. Exterior is polymetal gray metallic with the black and brown interior, which is black with brown stitching. Its base price, $41,550. This one is very limited on the additional features. So your paint is an additional $395, and then your destination charge. So that's it. There aren't a lot of options on this thing because it comes with the Turbo Premium Plus package as part of like the trim level or whatever. And there you go, 227 horsepower, 310 foot-pounds of torque, 8-speed automatic transmission. I did not mention that yet. And also the 3,500-pound towing capacity, which I was hoping to test out, but no hitch on this one. So overall, very well equipped, heated steering wheel, heated seats, this 10-inch display, 10.25-inch display, 12-speaker audio, and you know, the all-wheel drive, iActive all-wheel drive with the G-vectoring control and the My Drive sport off-road towing, normal settings, all that stuff. So it's very well equipped, and for that price, I'd say maybe this thing's a little bit smaller than the Chevy Blazer. But if you get something like the Blazer RS, this would be a similar performing vehicle, and it probably comes in a little bit lower of a price point with a little bit nicer build quality. There are going to be trade-offs for all of them. The Blazer is a little more techy and all that stuff. This one's a little more basic luxury. I don't know how to describe it, but anyway. So there are trade-offs there, but anyway, this is a decent price. I wouldn't say it's like super high, but it's not as budget as Mazda used to be, and that's probably in their effort to try and go with, you know, a nicer, higher quality interior. One thing I did not talk about on the Monroney, 25 combined, 23 city, 29 highway, estimated MPG. I'm currently sitting at 22.5. That includes the filming and testing and all that stuff. So not too bad. The steering feels really tight right now. Yeah, really not too bad if it meets those EPA estimates. For the amount of power it has, for the size of the vehicle, maybe could be a little more efficient, but I'm not too upset about that. Yeah, on road. So driving this thing on the road is quite nice. So it's very responsive, the steering's tight, and you get some feedback actually from the road through the steering. So Mazda has always done a really good job of making a driver's vehicle, and that continues still today. I mean, the Miata MX-5, whatever, has always been one of the best handling cars, and Mazda carries that technology, that experience, that knowledge through pretty much all of their vehicles sold here in the US. So the handling, we'll go through the S-curves in a little bit, but handling on it's great, very easy to maneuver and drive around town. It just is fun to drive, responsive, and when you're on the freeway and whatever, it's not hunting for gears. It's just always kind of there. If you go up an overpass like we have in front of us, it's got the torque to do it with this 310 foot-pounds of torque from this turbocharged inline 4. And yeah, it's down on horsepower compared to some, especially as you get into the higher end competitors, but it's not slow, it's not fast, same as Mazdas typically are. Maybe they're a little slow, the turbo models, kind of average to a little bit above average, but then what really makes up for it is the great driving dynamics. It stays flat in the corners, drives good at speed and around town. Just overall, Mazda has that portion of it dialed in. I personally feel like this could be a little bit quieter inside if they're trying to go kind of for that more premium feel. Then it could use a little more sound deadening, but other than that, I have no complaints with how this thing drives. We are merging onto the freeway, 75-ish miles an hour, and to get there, it was super easy. I should have filmed it as we accelerated to get up on the freeway. Here, you can hear the road and wind noise just a little bit more now that we're at speed, but I think all my sensors are off. They've got dirty. Darn, I wanted to show you on the head-up display that it indicates when there's a car in your blind spot, and not that it really has blind spots. I mean, I can see the mirrors are very well designed so that you can see kind of far enough out that you see people when they're right next to you in what would normally be a blind spot, and there's decent visibility all around. So if I can't look out the rear window to check my blind spot, I can see it in the mirror. Either way, this thing, I feel, doesn't really have much of a blind spot. In sport mode, at the S-curves, let's get it going, see how it does. And honestly, you can go quite fast through this. It's a little bit wet, very neutral. It starts to slide, it's kind of all four wheels. And it's only sliding because of it's kind of a wet, dirty, gritty area. The one thing about sport mode is it still doesn't hold the gears super long, so that one did hold it for an additional little bit, but I was surprised at how quickly it would still upshift as soon as I let off the throttle. But all right, now let's hit the 0 to 60. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. 60 there. Had to go over just to make sure. Sorry, bag was falling. Okay, let's take a look. See what kind of numbers we have. So 0 to 60, 7.51 seconds. Thank you for watching Engine Adventures review of this 2023 Mazda CX-50 Premium Touring Plus all-wheel drive, whatever they want to call it. Anyway, it is a very nice vehicle, really fun to drive if you're going to drive a little bit more aggressive, a little more sporty, canyon carving, yeah, those kind of things. It does really well at. It does good cruising on the freeway. Yeah, just kind of goes. I like it quite a lot. For me, probably wouldn't own one, but be able to drive it for a week and, you know, not do much off-roading and that kind of stuff, then for sure, if you're a city person who all weather, you know, you need to be able to drive in the snow and stuff like that, this is definitely an excellent choice for that, and to still have a very sporty driving feel when there's good weather. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos. Give me a thumbs up and comment down below. If you didn't like it, do the same. Comment down below. Let me know why. Let me know what you want to see, what you want done differently, or what other vehicles you want to see. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.